What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Viva Los Bills. I'm your host. Right down there, it says it. Buffalo Will, what's going on? Where's Vinny? What? Vinny's not here right now. Vinny's on the road. He might chime in. He might give us a call. Hop on in. We might get a guest. We're trying to see. Storms have been a little crazy over here. I'm in Jersey. We got hit with the crazy storm. Passed by, so hopefully I don't lose any connectivity at any point. One of my guests that was popping on, the storm just started happening by him. He lost connectivity, so hopefully he'll be able to get some connectivity and hop on our show. And we have another guest joining us a little later in the show to discuss the Washington versus Bills game, and he'll give us his picks as well. But as of right now, we're just going to keep moseying it along. It's just me right now. Vinny's hopefully listening somewhere. Welcome to everybody again. Viva Los Bills. Another Thursday night. I'm going to do a little recapping. But as always, hold on. This is even more important this week because why? The Bills got to win. Finally got that monkey off our back, and we got to win. I know it's only week 2. We lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not in a pretty game, but hey, congratulations to the Buffalo Bills. Bills Mafia, Bills Nation, Viva Los Bills fans, everybody out there. Congratulations. Cheers to you all. Let's get a sip of this. By the way, you guys watch, we usually talk about a beer. I bought a Haze Charmer. Never had it before. Saw it. I was like, oh, let me try this. Haze Charmer. As you can see right there, it's a dry hopped hazy pale ale. It's actually not bad. It is pretty tasty. 5.5% alcohol. Hops Citra, Idaho, Azaka. Anyway, let's give you a little information here. Haze Charmer emerges from a soft swirling cloud of oats and unmalted wheat. Vigorously dried hop adds a second phase of haze, popping up the oils of Asaka. I don't know what that is. Citra hops. Each sip delivers notes of juicy pineapple, fresh grapefruit, and candied peach, balanced by a hint of white pine and low bitterness. It is actually kind of low bitterness for a hoppy beer. A soft, juicy, and hazy pale ale. Haze Charmer is here to cast its spell on you. I was going to say it's October. It's not October yet, even though if you came by my house, you would think it's Halloween already. My wife's got everything all over the place. Anyway, this is pretty tasty. Yep, I like it. Actually, I'm going to give this 4.2. 4.2. Facebook user, thumbs up. I'm going to have to see who this is because half the time, I don't know why, it's not popping up. But you know who you are, and if I see it eventually, I'll say who it is. Right now, I don't know. But thanks for commenting. Keep commenting. And I'll get to see who that is. Again, cheers. We finally got a win against the Miami Dolphins. Big rivalry. We didn't want to go 0-1 in a division, and let's go 0-2 as a squad. So that's pretty good. I like it. Let's see. So let's talk. I did my picks. I actually found my picks from last week. Vinny, again, not here, so we don't know how his picks were, but I'm going to tell you how my picks. Look, if you bet my picks straight up, you went 11-5. Now, if you went with the point spread, not as good. We were 7-8. The 2 parlays I gave out, crap to bed, so that wasn't good. Poopy is there. But real quick on some of these games, real quick, let's go through. Bang, bang, bang. You got the Bengals. The Bengals upset Minnesota the first week, and then they go and lose to the Bears, who I think is a worse team than the Minnesota Vikings. So, come on. Really? You lose to the Bears? Maybe it was a close game, 17-20. Excuse me, but I thought the Bengals would have won this one. Another one, interdivision there. Again, Bills playing Miami. Pats were playing the Jets. I picked the Pats. The Pats actually covered. Jones looks like he's for real. He's not he's not killing the team. He's doing enough to win the team, and they're bringing him along just fine. And with that defense, you're able to do it. Now for the Jets, it's not the same thing. Kid's over there. He doesn't look bad, but he's not doing all that great. Uh, so now everybody, well, the Pats are 1-1, Jets are 0-2. No surprise on that one. What was another one? Let's keep going. Raiders are 2-0 right now. A lot of people didn't think the Raiders would be even 500. I said they were going to be at least 500. There was no reason for them not to. I thought they were a better team than they were. So if you listened to me in the beginning of the year, you took them having a better record than what people were saying. I think they were giving them 7 wins or 6 wins, something ridiculous. So that was big. Titans, they get shellacked the season opener, but then they end up beating Seattle in overtime. I guess we don't know which Titans team is going to show up. Who else? Let's see what else I was going to look at real quick. The Ravens and Chiefs. I like that the Ravens beat the Chiefs. Didn't think it was going to happen because usually the Chiefs own the Ravens. But, hey, the Ravens came up big and smacked up the Chiefs. They didn't smack them up, beat them by 1. Lions, Packers was a tight game in the beginning. Then the Packers just slapped them down like we did. I picked the Packers with the 11 points. So if you did that, you're looking pretty good. So let's see what I got over here real quick. Bam. It was Johanna Elia saying thumbs up. Thanks for that. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep moving. All right. So let's look at this Miami Bills game. A lot to like. It was the biggest second blowout win that the Bills had since 1992. It's been a long time that they've actually blown somebody out like this. They played Pittsburgh. The defense, stood up most of the game, played Pittsburgh very well, gave up a few third and longs and allowed Pittsburgh in the second half to come down and win. Not the case this week. It was like the defense was just all over the place, man. The defensive ends, AJ Epinesa, 9 QB pressures, which was crazy. The kid was all over the place. And just imagine, it could have been even more or it could have been less, being that, they change in and out a lot. They alternate guys. You got Hughes and Addison, and then you got AJ and Greg coming in. Greg looked good too. You can't, these guys, man, you have to give it to him. This guy, he ended up getting 2 sacks. So it was good stuff by the defense. The defense was all over this team. They had a nice big 4th and 1 stop. Defense was all over the Dolphins. One thing I saw, which, Vinny loves Star. I like Star. They said it even last year was missed because of the run stop defense. I saw this picture on Twitter. It was crazy. Look at this guy. He's taking up 3 offensive linemen. 3 offensive linemen on Star Latulier. So you got to give this guy some praise. When he's in there, it's different. He helps that run game. So we need him out there. He was a little banged up, but you need him out there. Micah Hyde, sack, he was all over the place. Again, these guys, man, just looking at these numbers, Greg had 2 sacks. Matt Milano, 1 sack. Micah Hyde, 1 sack. Tremaine Johnson, didn't he get a sack? Where is that one? Yeah, Johnson, 1 sack. Justin Zimmer, 1 sack. Big difference. They were actually able to sack these guys instead of like Big Ben. They were pretty much just hitting Big Ben, but he was getting the ball out. Another difference, listen, Allen threw for 33 times. He has said it himself. Listen, guys, he's struggling. He's not as sharp out there. And to me, one reason is he didn't really play in the preseason. He played the 3rd game. I understand a lot of people, and I always say this, a lot of people don't want the starters out there in preseason. Personally, I think they should play at least a few sets of offense in the first quarter, if not the whole first quarter. He's off rhythm. He's not, some of the plays, I must say, I was looking at it, the receivers weren't getting it off their coverage that fast, so he had to wait for them a little. Some of the plays look like they took longer to develop, so you can't blame all that on him. But if he would have played at least a few sets within those first 3 games, I think he would be a little further ahead than he is right now. and that's why you have the little struggles. In my opinion, again, you guys let me know what you think. Personally, I think everybody, the starter, should play at least 2 sets of downs or 2 sets of ball when they have the ball, just to get in some kind of rhythm. It's different when you're practicing against your guys than going against guys who are trying to make an NFL team. That's more realistic. Again, you don't want to get hurt, but they need those reps. Uh, at one point, Moss got in there. My condolences to him and his family. The day before the game, they ended up burying his aunt. She passed away. So he had a heavy heart out there. He lost the ball on one, but he was able to score 2 times. He had 8 carries for 26 yards, 2 touchdowns. Singletary, 13 carries. Listen, it's not that many carries, 13 carries, but the guy had 82 yards, averaged 6.3 carries, yards a carry, and he had a touchdown. He had a long of 46. But the difference is you have to throw in that balance of the run game. And you see what happens when you do it. It opens up the pass. And we need to, man. Josh Allen ran the ball for 5 times. I know a few, like probably 3 of the plays or whatever, were for a run play for him and others. But you need to run that ball. So 21 carries. And if you add Reggie Gillian's 2 carries, so you had around 23 carries by the backs. And that's what we need. You need the balance, as we keep saying over and over again. This guy, Matt Milano, all over the place. A guy, he had the fumble recovery. He had, I believe, a sack, I said. This guy, according to, where is it? I think I have it somewhere. According to the Pro Football Focus, the best linebacker in the league as of right now is Matt Milano. And his stats till this day right now is only 10 tackles, 1 sack, 4 for losses, 2 QB hits, 1 pass defended, and 1 fumble recovery, which he ended up getting on this game. Again, the guy was all over the defense was all over the place. Kudos to the defense. Game day roster, here it was against them. Let me take this down real quick. I have nothing really to complain about on this roster. The only thing, if I would have done, again, I know they love some Taiwan Jones, but the guy didn't even have a carry. He's on special teams, but he's not doing punt returns or anything. Why have him out there? Why have 5 backs? You don't need Taiwan Jones out there. That's another position somewhere else. Whether it have been Harrison Phillips could have been out there, Boogie, FE, even if you wanted to go another tight end instead of running 2 tight ends. Pretty much really have 3 tight ends when you have Reggie Gillian. He's listed as a fullback, but he's a fullback / tight end. So God forbid one of those guys would have went down, Reggie would have slid into that spot. So I'm not going to complain about that. Everybody, if you watched last week, I would have sat Taiwan Jones. He's one of the captains, I guess, for special teams or something, but he's not even putting in work. He's not out there really doing anything. So is he hurting the team? No, but that's a position somebody else could be filling. It could be going to somebody else right now instead of having that there. Maybe it's just me, but it is what it is. I have a comment here by Angelo. He's saying this is the best shirt I have because he's a Wu-Tang fan. So thanks, Angelo. I have my sweatshirt on too. So there you go. Moving on. Let's see what else I have here. Some Bills news real quick. Wallace. I wish Vinny was here because he's always picking on my boy Wallace. And people were bringing up Wallace last week. Listen, nobody's really throwing to Trey White. So Wallace is going to see more activity than Trey White is. And even Tyron Johnson. Tyron Johnson had a big game too on Sunday. Another very good back. But Wallace, man, he had his pick. Yeah, he got called for pass interference at one point. He's going to see more action. He's going to look worse than Trey because people are staying away from Trey. You can't fault the guy for it. Give him some props. The guy, undrafted, even unrecruited in Alabama, earned a spot. Undrafted, came to Buffalo, earned his spot. And they're still picking on the guy, still not giving him no respect. Give the guy some respect. Let me see. I talked about that. The defense. Tyron Johnson had a great game. Hyde, Milano, AJ, most of these guys, like I said, all over the place. Greg, I'm going to lose this bet to Vinny because Boogie's not playing. So Greg's already got 2 sacks. I can't compete if my guy is sitting on the bench, not getting no time. He's going to definitely lose the sack competition. So I'm going to have to buy Vinny a T-shirt at some point towards the end of the year. The Bills bring back vet Bobby Hart after the Eagles plucked our offensive lineman, our 7th round pick, Jake Anderson from Texas Tech. So we lose him. He was protected, but at a certain point, they become unprotected after the game, and the Eagles had an injury on their offensive line, went to the Bills practice squad, plucked, and he's gone. So now they brought Bobby Hart, who struggled in preseason. So hopefully he got his stuff straight. He was on the Miami, I believe, practice squad. They released him, and now the Bills picked him up again. And I think that might be it. So I must say, last week I threw this up here, Brian Dable. He called a better offensive game this week. I got to give him some kudos. Leslie Frazier had a very good game last week, even though they ended up losing. He had a better game this week. His defense shutting out the Miami Dolphins. So good for them. Can't hate on them. Like I said, if you took my pick straight up, you went 11-5. If you went with the spread, it was kind of rough at 7-8. So on that note, let's keep moving on a little. You know what? One of my guests is in the back. I'm going to bring him in a little earlier because it's hard to do a show by myself. From Intercept Your Lunch, here's the man, Marty. Marty,
Hey.
You hear me?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
I got you. So we're doing good right now.
All right.
We were supposed to have another guy on, but a storm just hit by where he's living, and they lost power for the last 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So we're not sure if he'll be hopping on. And then we might get Bobby might jump on here. He might try to talk about his Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Bills last week. Nobody wants to hear that. No. So everybody, Marty, you've been on the show before. For anybody, just in case,
Yeah.
introduce yourself, sir.
Name's Marty Joins from a small town, Stewartstown, Pennsylvania, host of the Interception Launch podcast, big Washington football fan, so had to hop on this week for the old football team versus the Bills. So excited to talk that, excited to talk NFL, and see what folks think.
Yep. Well, welcome again. Thanks for joining me, keeping me company while Vinny's out on the road somewhere. I think he's in Florida. Real quick, some NFL news. Do you have something to drink or no?
No, not tonight. No, not tonight.
All right. I'll have a sip for us both.
There you go. Thank you.
You guys, by the way, got your first win as well, which I picked you guys to win, but you didn't cover. But straight up, you guys won. Little NFL news real quick. There's still 7 undefeated teams after week 2. 6 teams are looking for their first win. So 6 teams 0-2. Justin Fields of the Bears gets to start his first NFL start against the Browns, coming from Ohio State. You know, he knows the town of Ohio. I got a little bug flying around here. But he's finally going to get the first start, being that Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, is injured with a knee injury, and he's going to be out, not sure for how long. Tua Tagovailoa is out with fractured ribs, so Jacoby Brissett is set to start against the Raiders, the hot Raiders, by the way, going 2-0. I forgot they even had Jacoby Brissett until I was watching. I was like, oh, man, I remember this guy. And I like Jacoby, but when they showed his record, 10-22 as a starter, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought he had a better record than that.
Yeah, I think they had some pretty rough years out there in Indy when he was filling in for Andrew Luck when he was awfully injured.
Yeah, that's true. Well, best luck to him. Part of me would like to see him win. Part of me would like to see the Raiders beat him again so they, keep falling in our division.
There you
go. Tonight's game, David Mills gets his first start ever for the Houston Texans since Tyrod Taylor is out with a hamstring injury. And they're saying he could miss up to 4 weeks. 2 guys who have no luck, it seems, Tyrod Taylor and Fitzmagic. Gets hurt over there, and he gets knocked out. When he got hit, my buddy Angelo actually commented before saw it, and he's like, "Oh, he's not hurt." And I was like, "Oh, he's hurt." But I thought it was going to be a shoulder. And then they come out and say the old guy has a hip injury. I was like, "Come on, man."
We were actually at the game present and
Oh,
at the stadium, and you could tell as soon as he stood up. Not sure if it was on TV or not, but he stood up. He went right back down to the ground. So you knew, unfortunately, there was something a little bit more there than just a stinger of some sorts.
yeah, I didn't see that part. I think that day I was at work and I was watching the red zone, but I did see him get taken down. I saw him stand up, but I didn't see him go back down.
Yep.
Those two poor guys seem not to have any luck.
Yes.
I mean, they have the luck that they're still getting paid big checks in the NFL,
Yeah.
but they're getting injured all the time. So let's see what happens with that. Before the game even starts, we usually pick that one. Personally, who are they playing? Tyra, they're playing.
Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are going to win that game.
Yeah.
So, anybody watching, so they don't call me a hammer if they're winning by that time.
If Tyrod Taylor was the behind center for the Texans, I'd give them a fighting chance. You know, they were it was 14-14 when he left against the Browns, and they won week 1. He seemed to be, taking full advantage of that opportunity. But like you said, he is definitely a man of misfortunes in the NFL when it comes to injuries, and hopefully he can get back.
I mean, this kid Mills, he was a starter. He was a highly recruited freshman coming out of high school. Mm-hmm. He went to Stanford. I think he was having a good year. Then he got hurt and then missed the whole year and then went back. I don't know, but they said he has a game, so they want to see how it is. Let's see if he could relive his old days.
Yeah.
But either way, Carolina Panthers are playing a lot better than I thought they would be. So I'm sticking with those guys.
They look solid on the defensive end.
Yeah, they're looking good. Darnold's doing what he was supposed to do, and I always said the kid needed a change of scenery. You got to change of scenery. He's looking pretty good down there. What else we got going here? Tampa's wide receiver Antonio Brown. He's been placed on the reserve/COVID-19 list today. Now, it'd be tough for him to play on Sunday, but it's still a possibility because he's vaccinated. So he needs 2 negative tests within 24 hours. So there's still a chance. Another real quick quarterback Indies, Carson Wentz, another guy who seems to have bad injury luck, dealing with 2 sprained ankles, but he's still supposed to start the game on Sunday.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's nuts. What's the other things? Power rankings like we always do. I went with ESPN, CBS, and then Bleacher Report. ESPN, I'm going to give it the top 5. Bills are at 5. 49ers 4th. KC is 3rd. They have the Rams 2nd and Tampa at 1. Now CBS has KC 5. Cardinals 4. Rams 3. 49ers 2nd and Tampa at 1. Bills are in 6 on theirs. I have to cover the Bills. Come on, man.
There you go.
The Ravens. Bleacher Report has the Ravens at 5, Cardinals at 4, Rams at 3, Kansas City at 2, and Tampa at 1. So everybody has Tampa at 1, which makes sense.
Yep.
And the Bills are 7th on that one. A little surprise was Kansas City at 2 for Bleacher Report. I mean, I know everybody loves Kansas City, but they just got beat by the Ravens, and the Ravens are at 5th. I don't know. And the Cardinals have been looking pretty good, too. I'm surprised with that squad.
Yeah, Oakland, too. Don't forget about – or Las Vegas, I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, not saying they should be 1 or 2, but they should definitely be in that conversation of 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I stopped up there just, I've said the Bills because it's a Bills show. Yeah. Besides that, Oakland, to me, is a surprise, but I said in the beginning of the year, I was like, Oakland's going to be better than what people were predicting, giving them, I think, a 6-win total. And I was like, no, come on, man. This team should be at least 500. And that was one bet I wanted to go put in. And I actually went to put it in, but I thought you could parlay win totals, and you can't. So I was like, I'm not even going to put it in because it wasn't paying out that much, but I should have. The one ticket I did put in, people think I'm crazy, is for Tampa Bay to go 17-0.
Looking good.
Uh,
Looking good so far.
so far, I'm looking good. I just need 15 more.
That's it.
Out of this year, man, what do you see or so far? Because we haven't talked. What do you see like surprising or any teams besides like Oakland we just talked about?
Yeah, I mean, for me, disappointment so far. We just mentioned Carson Wentz getting hurt, but the Indianapolis Colts 0-2 got a tough on the road divisional matchup this week. I really thought that team was going to take hold of the AFC South, be the team of that division. Titans have been the last couple of years, but I thought with Wentz's arrival, that team would have gotten a little bit better. Another team that I think has surprised a lot of folks, like we said, was the Arizona Cardinals. But another team out there too is the Denver Broncos. I think Kurtz from the K&K Sports shows Denver Broncos. That defense looks legit, and if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't turn the ball over, they're playing a very tough division. But they've got the Jets this week. That looks to be a win on paper. So you're talking about 3-0, and they're looking good too.
Yeah, I agree with you with the Cardinals. Like I said, before when we did the division winners, I was like, I don't know what you're going to get. On paper, they have a nasty squad. They played very well last year. They could have won a few games that went the other way. They should have lost the game against the Bills, but they won it. And with the additions of Watt, AC Green, you have all these young players stepping up over there. And the first week, it was just like, bam. I was like, all right, we're for real. One team I didn't think the Colts would take. I mean, the Colts were in top 10 of everything last year. They made the playoffs. I thought the Tennessee Titans, would be rolling over there, and they got blown out the first week. To me, it was a surprise. And even last week, I thought Seattle was going to beat them, and they ended up beating Seattle.
Yeah.
So it's always weird with the first 2 weeks of the season because you never really know what you're going to get.
And like you said before I jumped on, the NFL teams, they're just not playing folks in the preseason. And I believe that they're almost treating the first 4 weeks of the regular season as preseason, as you can tell throughout the last couple of years. I mean, teams start off rocky, and they seem to rattle them off at the end because they finally got that mojo.
Yeah. What's your idea on that? Would you play your players in the preseason?
Yeah,
or?
I wish our team, Ron Rivera, has done better than most, I would say, in getting folks reps. But especially when it comes on the offensive and defensive lines, trying to get in sync there, trying to understand what those folks do. Even if your unit's been together for a little bit, it's always good to get some reps out there. But more importantly, quarterback to wide receiver timing, that's huge. And I think you're seeing some teams here stumbling out of the blocks because they didn't get enough time in the preseason.
Yeah, and I mean, it just drives me crazy because even I know the Bills had 1 or 2 of their offensive linemen were hurt during the preseason, so they really couldn't be out there. But you could tell in the first game, man, they were just Pittsburgh Steelers were getting at them.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about that later, especially with your team coming up. One team I'm surprised about, but not in a good way, is the Minnesota Vikings. They're 0-2. You lose to the Bengals, and then you lose to a close game last week also. Who did they play last week? Oh, the Cardinals. I mean, you lose by a point, but they have, way too much talent on that team. It's the defense that's hurting them. It's not even the offense right now. The defense can't stop nobody, and they re-signed a lot of players, which is kind of rough. I'm surprised. 0-2.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer's definitely fighting for his job up there. They've, like you said, they've spent a lot of money. They've got a lot of things moving forward up there, but they can't seem to win. And hosting the Seattle Seahawks at home doesn't get any easier for them this week.
I got one of my buddies, Jen Fowler, from telling me to pick her pool picks. Well, we'll pick a little later, Jen. You just gotta wait.
That's it.
Pick. Last week I went 11-5 if you go straight up. So we'll see how we do this week. I mean, I don't know if we should just start doing picks. We still got a half hour. I mean, we could start going slow. Anything else you want to bring up or talk about? Well, I guess we could start doing some more picks in?
Yeah, I mean, again, for the NFL week 2, it's been crazy so far. Excited to have fans back. Excited to have folks there. I think that has changed the aspect of some of these teams, some of these young quarterbacks experiencing some of that uh, noise, hostility towards them in the pocket, and it's really exciting to see a couple teams that have young quarterbacks struggling early. We'll see if they can get moving forward. And the AFC West looks to be tough throughout all 4 of those teams. So that's going to be probably the best division to watch coming down the stretch.
Yeah, Vinny and I, we talked about that when we did our division winners. We both agreed that, to me, the AFC West is the toughest division in football right now. You know, back when I was young and you were, like a twinkle in your mom's eye, it was the AFC East in my mind. A lot of people might say the NFC East, but to me, it was the AFC East, especially when you had Kelly, Marino, even like Esiason when he was on the Jets. And who was it over there? Bledsoe, or I don't even remember at the time, the other quarterbacks. But to me, it was them. But the NFC West, man, like the 49ers are 2-0. Arizona 1-1, Rams 1-1, and it's like anybody could take that division. The Seahawks,
yeah,
right? It's nuts. It's great.
There's a lot of good teams out there, and a lot of good quarterback play early on for them.
Yeah. You went to the Washington game, so how was it in the stadium? What you have to do? What didn't you have to do? Or
yeah, so everything was open normally. I was fortunate enough to go to the one game last year that FedEx Field had fans, and it was definitely a different experience there. Last year, 5,000 fans, masked the entire time. No cash was allowed. You couldn't go into certain areas. But coming back this year was refreshing in the fact that you were vaccinated. You didn't have to wear a mask at all pretty much anywhere in the facility. All the food vendors were open. All the pregame tailgate stuff was there. I mean, last year you couldn't even tailgate there. So it was fun to see a bunch of fans out and about, getting excited for the season, getting excited to watch live football again. Unfortunately, Justin Herbert and the Chargers took us down. But it was fun to watch him play from just a football fan perspective, that kid can really sling the ball. And yeah, it wasn't weird. I thought it was going to be, but it felt like being back home.
Now, okay, so if you were vaccinated, you find out to get in there, everybody has to be vaccinated, or you have to show like a negative test or so forth?
I know there's some NFL teams that are doing that. I believe the Raiders and the Saints, you have to show a vaccination card or some sort of proof that you're negative. But for the FedEx Field, the Washington football team, there was no proof of anything. It was just taking it by your word that you didn't have to wear a mask.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Bills are doing that. You have to either be vaxxed or show proof. But as of October, actually now, until the Halloween game, you have to show either you're vaccinated or you had your first shot. And then as of the Halloween game on, you have to be fully vaccinated to even go into the.
Yeah, and I think for folks, that's going to be the new norm. I think what the Bills are doing, what a couple teams are already have implemented. If things keep going the way they're going, I can't see why the NFL wouldn't do that.
Uh-oh. Look at this.
Bobby.
We got Bobby just jumping on in.
Oh,
What's up, Bobby? Uh-oh. What's Bobby trying to show me?
trying to get a better view here.
Is that a Pittsburgh hat you're wearing, Bobby?
Yes, it is.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Yes,
boy.
it is.
Now, I don't know if you saw, but I did play your little clip. I played the clip of when you guys, your favorite clip. You like this one for when you won. that was for you. That was for you. Not that I wanted to.
Hey, what's going on, Bobby?
So what's going on, guys?
Nothing. We were just talking about Marty actually was able to go to a game. and I was just asking him about, the whole COVID, if you had to get a shot or show a negative thing and so forth. So that's what we were hitting on real quick.
So what happened? Did you have to show identification?
No, not at FedEx Field. You don't. It's just you have to wear a mask if you're not, and but you don't have to show anything to get out of that or anything along those lines.
Yeah, because I went to a Eagles concert at Madison Square Garden, and we had to show proof of vaccination.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were just talking that we believe that's probably, or I think at least that's going to be the norm here coming in the next few months, where you're probably going to have to show that to get into some of these events.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. Real quick, our buddy German, he's a Jet fan. His words are Jet suck.
Yes, they do.
Hey, if you're a Jet fan, you are not happy tonight. Because I was all, you guys know this, especially Will, I was all for them keeping Sam Darnold and building around him. And now they're going to show, he's going to show him tonight, on in front of the world again, because he did it to him last week. But, how good he's going to be when he has a supporting staff, supporting coaches, and a support system behind him.
Yeah, it's like I said in the past, he needed a change of scenery. And I would have kept him, and I would have traded that first round pick and got a bundle of picks, But, hey, let's see if the kid pans out. But it's going to take a few years, Pats still have a really good defense, so they're allowed to take their time. And the Jets are just – it's going to take them a while. He just commented if he keeps his throws – he keeps his throws low. I guess he's throwing his throws too high. I remember just seeing that one when they played the Pats. He threw it right to the cornerback, way over the guy's head. So there's that. We were going to have a guest on, Bobby. Fred was going to pop on, but he has been blacked out, so he's probably not going to hop on.
Real quick, how's the new house?
Oh, it's good. I like it. What was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? We had to have Vinny do it because I had some really crappy internet. Now I was able to upgrade because we finally have a better internet provider over here. Love the area. It's quiet, peaceful, just a lot of work. I'm learning how to do a lot of housework. But it's
growing
good.
The beer to match the area now, I see.
Yeah, hey, the season started, so I'm going to let it grow. And let's see, it's just got a lot of grays, man. Whew, getting old. So maybe I won't shave. I might trim, but I'm probably going to let it grow long again. See how the season goes.
All right, so being this is real quick, Marty, real quick, I have a quick question for Will. Being this is our Buffalo Bills show. By the way, I'm going to be talking to somebody soon about they're going to be doing a show about the Dolphins.
All right.
In fact, the guy, one of the co-hosts of the show, played for both the Dolphins and the Jets and the I think Buffalo too.
Who?
John Bach.
John Bach. That name is familiar. Oh, what did he play?
I met him about 5 years ago. He was coaching the Brooklyn team when they had that LIFL or something, the FIFL or whatever.
Yeah, the minor league teams or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was like the pro team over in Brooklyn, and that's how we kind of got started with that stuff. But he might be coming on doing a. He already has a show, so we're going to be putting on to Blackjack TV. So we'll see.
Nice.
So my quick question before we get started with more talk: I have Josh Allen in 3 of my leagues.
Yeah.
Should I panic or what?
No, it's like we were talking about. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, preseason the starter should play a few sets, and you could tell he's not where he was because he really didn't play. He played the last preseason. I don't even know how much he played in the first quarter. I don't even remember, but he didn't play at all. So now this is his preseason. The first 2 games, it's him trying to catch up. It's different when you're playing against a different team than your own team in practice, And they didn't scrimmage anybody different this year. Every year before that, they would scrimmage some other team. So, that helps too because, you're going to Diggs is going to go against Trey White. You're going to get better, yes, but is Trey really going to be banging the crap out of Diggs at the line of scrimmage, you're not going to do that. So one thing I said about the Miami game, which I noticed was, and I said this about when they played Kansas City last year in the playoffs, our guys, we have more finesse wide receivers like. So if you play a man-to-man up top, it took them a while to get off of some of the Miami like defensive backs. So you need that. You need that time to get in there and that rhythm and so forth. But to me, some of the plays look like they took too long, or it took too long for the wide receivers to get away from the defensive backs. But he'll get in rhythm. He's just off rhythm right now. The one thing I did like is that they were able to run the ball some more, but that doesn't help you.
Not really. Unless he runs it himself.
Yeah, no, I think they'll pick it up, and it depends on who they play. That's where I'm at. I wasn't lucky enough to get him. I went to pick him up, and somebody picked him up right before I was going to draft him. So I don't have him.
Yeah, in the one draft, I was trying to double dip. I was trying to get Allen and Diggs, but I couldn't pull it off anywhere. The double dip there, so.
I think my brother got to double dip in one of the leagues, but I'm not sure.
So here's another question I have for both of you guys.
Go ahead. You go.
We have about 5 minutes to go before 5, 6, 7 minutes before the game starts. Now, in my one big league, two of my leagues. Well, that reminds me, I should have changed that. In two of my leagues, I have Brandon Cooks. Would you play Brandon Cooks, who's been outstanding the first 2 weeks? Would you play Brandon Cooks tonight? Marty, what do you think?
Yeah, I still think he's a start just for the sheer fact of volume. I think even if David or Steve Mills, even if he struggles, I still see Cooks getting 8 targets, maybe even 10, if he knows that he needs to go to the veteran guy.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on hopefully Mills and him get along. He's going to have to look for somebody, so why not? I would keep him in. Or it depends on who else you have.
The only thing that scares me, though, is that defense is scary. Number one defense in football. I mean, it's only 2 weeks, very small sample size, but the Carolina defense is scary. And, they shut down 2 teams already.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm the Carolina defense and I'm playing Houston tonight, I'm stacking the box to set up Ingram and force this kid to see what he could do. I mean, that would be me, just to check. But, yeah. I'm just armchair defensive coordinator or GM or whatever.
I'm pretty stacked at receiver in this one league, so I mean, I could take the hit for a week or two and see at least 1 week to see how Mills does before plus playing a real good defense. So
well, that's good. I'm 0-2 in both my leagues, so I'm not doing too well.
I'm maybe putting Beasley this week because now that would be my double dip with Allen at quarterback, but we'll see.
You gonna do picks with us, Bobby?
Why not? I'm here.
All right, let's go. We'll start up our picks here. Jen, if you're still watching, get ready for your picks. We already kind of hit off this first for tonight. Panthers 2-0, Texans 1-1. Panthers are actually giving up 8 points. No Tyrod. Don't know much about Mills, so I would go with the Panthers, even giving up the 8 points. Like you said, the defense is playing well. Anderson and Darnold are looking good together. Like they're back in old gang green, but they look better in new colors. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I think I would even lay the points here too with you and take the Panthers even on the road. Mills struggling against a good defense. If Tyrod Taylor was in there, I think it'd be a totally different ball game. But I think the Panthers are running hot. The only thing that scares me is if their head gets too big right now. But I think they can take care of business down there in Houston.
No, I'm with Marty there. I think if Tyrod Taylor was playing, you have a whole different ball game, and it really a testament to really how pretty damn decent Tyrod Taylor is. And the guy doesn't get a chance anywhere, right? Yeah, but he's a winning quarterback if you look at his record and stuff. He
had a chance in Buffalo,
right? He's always left at the altar when they go get somebody else the next year at quarterback.
Listen, I mean that week 1, he was throwing deep balls. I mean, what's his name was catching the Mills or whatever. But Tyrod's usually not that great on the deep ball, even though his numbers say different, which they're a little lying or lies because Sammy Watkins would be wide open downfield and he wouldn't even throw it to her. Or you would have I forgot the tight end we had that was a Miami Dolphin at one point, Clay. He would be wide open and he wouldn't even throw it to him. He'd just dump it off to Shady McCoy all the time. And it was like, come on, dude. So that's what drove me crazy about him. But he looked good for the Houston Texans. And like you guys are saying, yeah, it's different when he's there because he could run. He could throw on the run. He was a beast in Virginia Tech. Listen, he blew away a lot of Michael Vick's record back then. But it's a different game without him there. I think the Panthers are just, like I said, try to stop the run game and force this kid to pass. The only thing that could happen is that they really don't have tape on Mills. He could surprise them, if anything. But besides that, I really don't see it happening. Moving on to the next game, the Bears are 1-1. Browns are 1-1. Browns are giving up 7 points. No Andy Dalton. Fields there. The Bears upset the Bengals last week. I don't even know if they were at upset. But I can't see the Browns losing to the Bears this week. Even with 7, Fields coming in for his first game, I think I'm going to go with the Browns giving up 7.
Yeah, I think Fields is going to struggle in Cleveland. Their defensive front is as good as any in the league, getting pressure with those two guys on the outside, Clowney and Garrett. I think they come here to step it up. And I'm not a big Justin Fields guy. I never was. Hopefully he proves me wrong for the Bears fan base sake. But I think he's gonna definitely show his struggles out there this week.
I think most of the media types like ourselves in the preseason were kind of pointing to Justin Fields starting after this week, after he got after the tough defenses they were going to face early on. And they definitely said they really needed to avoid Cleveland, which, as we know, has a real good defense, and we're probably giving fits. But we know we've been proven wrong before, so I think that's why they play the game, right? You gotta actually get on the field and see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of people with him are like, oh, he needs to play. He needs to play. Oh, they don't have that great of a defensive line. That's why he should play because he's more mobile. You could look at it that way. I look at it as my offensive line is not that good. I don't want to throw my rookie in there to get beat up that bad, Learn the system on the bench, but he's getting thrown in because Dalton's hurt. But let's see. Let's see if the Browns get to him. Put a hit on him. I mean, the Bills put a hit on him on preseason, rung his bell, even though I thought it was a clean shot. Bills player got fined for rocking him like that. So, Garrett's going to go after him, and he's not going to feel bad. So we'll see what happens with the kid in his first game.
That is true.
Moving on, the Ravens 1-1, Lions 0-2. Ravens are giving up 8 points. It's just the Lions, man. You don't know what you're going to get. They played well against 49ers, almost came back, played against Green Bay, hung with them until the half pretty much, and then Green Bay went crazy. Ravens, they just I think upset the Chiefs, so I think they should be able to put some points up against the Lions. So I'll take the Ravens giving 8 on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite here. I'm going to take the points with the Lions. Last 2 weeks, their offense has proved that they can score. I mean, in the Packers in the first half, they look good. Second half, different story. But I think I'll take the 8 points. I don't believe they'll win, but maybe the Ravens come over with a little hangover. I saw Lamar's a little beat up with his hip from his celebratory dive. So he's taking it easy, and maybe the Lions will catch him sleeping and keep this one close.
I think the Lions are going to play tough every week in and out. Mm-hmm. I like that coach. I like the what he's instilling in confidence in these young players. If you think about it, the Lions are missing really one thing: a receiver, or a stud receiver. They have everything. I think they have good running backs. They got one of the best tight ends in the league. They have a young defense. So, and you know what? Golf is not that as bad as everybody makes it out to be. not saying he's going to win you a lot of games like that, but I mean, yeah, they'll probably get a quarterback next year. But I think once they start gelling a little bit more and get that confidence in them, you're going to see Detroit win some games into the season. They're going to be a spoiler team second half of the season, probably right around Thanksgiving, before that and on. So they're getting there and they're playing hard for Coach Campbell.
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually don't think I thought Goff needed a change of scenery. The problem is he got thrown into Detroit, so it's going to be tough. They do need a few pieces, like you said, and yeah, wide receiver would be nice.
Who's the home team?
Lions.
No, I'm going to go with Marty. I think it's going to be a Ravens win, but I think they're going to cover
the spread.
The spread there, yeah.
All right. Both of you guys going with the Lions. I'm taking the Ravens. Moving on to the 0-2 Colts taking on the 1-1 Titans. Titans right now are giving up 5.5. The one thing I don't like about this game is if Carson Wentz doesn't play, or if he starts the game and it struggles with those 2 sprained ankles, it's going to be tough. So hopefully the real Titans show up and cover the 5.5.
Yeah, I think they definitely got a wake-up call week 1 and the first half out there in Seattle. I think Tennessee's going to come in here playing ready to rock and roll. If Carson Wentz was fully healthy here, I'd think about taking the Colts even straight up. That's still how much I believe in Frank Wright and that team. I still think that they're talented enough to win games like this, but give me the Tennessee Titans -5.5. Derrick Henry's going to keep it rolling, and the Colts are going to scramble at the quarterback position, not knowing where the future is.
I think I don't know. I was never a Wentz guy, so I don't believe in his abilities to begin with. Especially after that major injury he had a few years back. Mm-hmm. And I'm in 4 fantasy leagues. Like I said, I got three teams with Josh Allen. I'm at 4 team. I got Tannehill. So I think once they figure out what to do with Julio Jones and AJ Brown, because right now it's been one had a good week, one hasn't. So once they figure out how to balance that out, they're going to be a pretty dangerous team.
I agree. I wanted to get Tannehill. I thought Tannehill was going to be like the sleeper quarterback this year because a lot of people don't give that guy no respect. The problem is that defense. Their defense needs to step up. But I think the Titans, they'll figure it out. Chargers, 1-1, heading down to Kansas City, 1-1. Kansas City's giving 6.5. Man, I want to take the Chiefs because they're going to be mad after losing to Baltimore. They're going to probably try to swing the ball all over the place. I'm a little upset that Hilaire is not really doing much. What the hell happened to their running back? It's like they forgot about the poor guy. I just can't see them losing 2 games in a row. The 6.5 kind of scares me a little, but I'm going to take the Chiefs. I can't see them going 0-2 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I can't see them losing, even though I'm a big Chargers fan in terms of what they can do this season. I think the Chiefs are going to come back with a little revenge. Herbert's still learning, and he's got to go into Arrowhead for the first time at a max capacity after a loss. That doesn't seem like a recipe for success. So give me the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, laying the 6.5 points and getting the win.
Yeah, I'm with Marty. I'm with both of you guys here. I think I see a Chiefs victory here, but other way around, I think they're going to split the season. And both teams. I think KC's been exposed a little bit, and they're known not to have the great defense, and they're known the running game is what is it?
Yeah, it's killing me. He's on my fantasy team.
Time for my boy Michael Burton, who I did a couple DJ events for. He's from Rutgers. He's the fullback at KC. So that's one reason I'm rooting for KC is Michael Burton and one of the rookie DNs. I know his aunt. So, but we'll see. I think it's gonna be a split between those 2 teams for the season.
Yeah, but who's taking this one?
KC.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a home. I think like Marty said, I think they're gonna be a little pissed off this week after losing and come out and not gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty actually.
Yeah. Saints 1-1. Pats 1-1. Saints came out going crazy, and then they got shut down last week. Pats are giving 3 points. Pats defense I mean, they have a very good defense. Their corners are really good. But for some reason, I think Winston gets his stuff straight this week, and I think they beat the Pats.
I think you would like that for your own squad there. So I'll have to take that with a grain of salt. I think the Patriots end up winning this game, and I think they end up winning it big. Jameis Winston's going to struggle, I think, against that defense like he did last week, and I think Sean Payton might have to go back to the drawing board and see if Tyson Hill is not his guy moving forward. That's how highly I think of Jameis Winston. I just think he's a turnover machine, and Bill Belichick will show him why. Pat's big.
I mean, I'm gonna flip Marty there. I think Winston has what it takes, and they ran into a buzzsaw defense last week, in the Panthers. So, and you know what, Sean Payton is, he's kind of like Belichick light, and he might have some things up his sleeve as well for a rookie quarterback. They still have a good defense there, in New Orleans. By the way, what channel is this game on? By the way,
it's a NFL Network. I'm not sure if it's anywhere else though. Falcons 0-2, Giants 0-2. Giants are actually giving up 3 points. Oh man, this is just an ugly thing. One of these teams are finally going to get their first win unless they go to a tie. I'm going to take the Falcons. I don't know why, but I think the Falcons, even though the Giants are home, I'm going to take the Falcons with the 3 points.
Yeah, I had a Falcons guy on earlier and doing an AFC South preview, and he got me super hype on the Atlanta Falcons. I actually had them winning 10 games, but over the last 2 weeks, I don't know if I am bold to say that anymore, but I'm going to go with the Giants here. I think at home they've had a few more extra days. I think that they're in a must-now win situation, whereas Atlanta's more in that rebuild phase. So give me the Giants.
What you got, Bobby?
Daniel Jones showed some moxie last week. They're going to build upon that. You're going to see a great game from Saquon Barkley and finally the emergence of Kenny Golladay. And another receiver that's been almost as outstanding as Brandon Cooks has been Sterling Sharp. Look at his numbers the first 2 weeks. Yeah. I have him on the one team. I told my partner, we got to start playing him. He's catching everything. He's very talented, and he can do multiple things with the ball in his hand, whether it be a short dump off, whether it be third down to get the first down, move the markers, or a deep pass. So I think this is a coming out party for Mr. Jones, Mr. Barkley, and Mr. Golladay.
Man, we're taking a while here. Oh man! All right, let's go. Here we go. Bengals 1-1.
The station. We're good. I don't think it's.
Oh, all right. Bengals 1-1. Steelers 1-1. Steelers are giving up 3 points. Which teams are going to show up for both of these squads? Which Bengal team is going to show up, and which Steelers team is going to show up? Honestly, I would think the Steelers would take this. I mean, I think the Raiders are a better team than the Bengals. I'm going to take the Steelers, giving up 3, just because they beat my Bills. So I'm going to take the Steelers on this one.
I'm with you. Even though Big Ben's a little banged up, I still think Joey Burrow and the Bengals are still trying to figure their way through. And give me the Steelers at home.
Yeah, of course, I'm going to go with my Steelers. But if there's any hiccups in this game, this might be that one game that shows the signal of who the Steelers really are. Don't forget, the Bengals are an up-and-coming team. They're young yet, and eventually, there's going to be a change on the guard. So we'll see what happens. But, Big Ben's banged up. Watt's hurt. Deontay Johnson, I believe, could be out this week. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. But, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose this game either. And then, things start getting a little ugly for us.
Yeah. You heard it first. Cardinals 2-0. Jaguars 0-2. Cardinals are giving 7.5. The way the Cardinals have been playing, there's no reason for them not to go into Jacksonville and smack up the Jaguars by more than 7.5. So I'm taking Cardinals with the 7.5.
I'll give you a little clickbait here. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars will cover. Give me the points there. I think Urban Myers might understand the Cliff Kingsbury offense a little bit more. I'm reaching. I know I am, but I'll try to be a little different. Give me the Jaguars and the points at home.
I think my boy Urban Myers is over his head, and what he's trying to do here, what he's trying to do with the with his team. So I don't know. I'm not too confident with Jacksonville doing a lot this year. At least not yet. They have weapons. They have the pieces in place. I just don't know if he can do this. To be honest with you.
I think the problem with the Jaguars, the thing is, they lost a lot of players. They ended up getting some. Their offense is not really bad, but they lost a lot of defensive players over the last few years. They just kept hemorrhaging players. So now they need a year or two to get some defensive players back into that place. And it's not this year. So I just can't see it. The Cardinals have so much talent on that team that I can't see them losing this game. But like Marty said, what I would call this is like a bookie's delight. Everybody's going to hit the Cardinals, and then they'll just win by like 4 points. And then everybody will be upset.
Isn't it crazy to think the Jaguars are only 3 seasons removed from an AFC championship game where they were beating Tom Brady? It's insane.
Certainly.
Insane how this league changes so quickly.
Free agency. Jets 0-2, Broncos 2-0. Heading up to Mile High, Broncos have looked really good. Well, not really good, but they've looked pretty damn good. Teddy's getting used to these guys. They have a few banged up players, but they're giving up 10 points. It's like the Jets' defense isn't bad, but they can't play the whole game. And their Jets' offense isn't doing much but burials, and I can't see that. I'm taking a lot of points this game. I'm taking the Broncos with the 10. It's kind of painful for me, especially 10 points. But, man, Jets are rough.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. It's a lot of points there for a team who has had some rough years the last 2, but I think Broncos got something going on there. They can handle the Jets at home. Give them to me.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to they should win by double digits this game. Jets really, like I said, like I said earlier, I think they made a mistake, and I was never a believer in Zach Wilson. Again, what do you have? 1 good year in college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you look at this year's quarterback class coming out for next season, at least a lot of those guys have been there for a couple of years. A lot of those top 3 or 4 quarterbacks that you keep seeing in the first round going in the mock drafts, the early mock drafts, those quarterbacks have played in their system, in their schools for 1 or 2 years at least. I mean, I know Zach Wilson did, but he only had 1 good year. I don't know. I think they I don't know. So I think it's going to be a double-digit win for the Broncos. I'll make Kurt happy.
Dolphins 1-1, Raiders 2-0. Raiders are giving up 4 points. They're home in Vegas. Jacoby Brissett, I'm not sure. Like I said, his record as a starter, I think it's 10-22 or something like that. Raiders are hot. Defense is playing well. Their offense is playing well. I'm going to take the Raiders giving up 4.
Yeah, that Vegas line seems a little weird to me. Only 4 points. That usually gets me nervous to go with the Dolphins here, but I can't go against Derek Carr and how well he's playing. So I'll take the Las Vegas Raiders here too.
I think a lot of the media in the preseason kind of alluded to the Vegas as being a sleeper team this year, and it sure came out to really show that 2-0 beating 2 quality teams. So, but then again, I think Miami ran into a mad Buffalo team last week. As you know, they won 35-0. I think this game is going to be closer than you think, but I still see the Vegas winning.
All right. This is one of the best games of the week, probably. Tampa Bay 2-0, Rams 2-0. Bucks are giving up 1.5. I have to pick the Bucks because I said they're going to go undefeated this year. So I think it'll be a great game. but I still think all around, even though they don't have Antonio Brown playing, I think might not play. I think the Bucks win this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. This is definitely one I'm going to tune into just to see how two of the powerhouse NFC teams look early on this season. I'm going to take Matt Stafford and the Rams at home. I think that just being there in SoFi Stadium, getting to see Tom Brady out there. This is his first time ever playing in Los Angeles. That's an interesting fact, and I think that the Rams will win.
Yeah, I'm with Marty here. I think the Rams. If this was a Tampa home game, I think Tampa would win. I think the home crowd and that Rams defense is going to make a big difference. And I like Stafford in LA. I like his weapons. I like what he can bring to that team. And this could be a preview of the NFC Championship game.
I think it'll come down to Tampa's offensive line. If they keep Brady upright, they'll be good. But if not, it might be a long day. Seattle 1-1, giving up 1.5 to Minnesota 0-2. These guys have usually played well, but Seattle always seems to own Minnesota. I'm going to take Russell Wilson, being that Minnesota can't stop anybody on defense right now. I think Seattle should win this easily with 1.5 points there.
Yeah, you said exactly what I was going to say. This is usually a good matchup, but Seattle usually takes the cake. So give me Russell Wilson on the road, even though he's laying the points. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to struggle this year, and it's going to show early.
Yeah, I think Seattle does it.
All right.
And Darnold with a touchdown already. Look at that. Proving everybody wrong. Proving those,
to who?
Jet fans upset.
Was it to McCaffrey?
No, your man himself.
Come on. Packers 1-1, heading west to play the 49ers, who are 2-0. 49ers are actually giving 3.5. I like the 49ers, but I still believe in the Aaron Rodgers effect over there, especially after their one win. I can't really see them. I can't see them going 1-2. I think they'll win again. They'll beat the 49ers. Give me the Pack getting 3.5.
Yeah, the San Francisco 49ers is my team out of the NFC to represent for the Super Bowl. I think that they're a solid squad, getting healthy. They've got options. Running back room's a little beat up right now, so that might hurt them here. But I still think that they're going to get this win. I'm not a big believer of the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers is already mentally checked out. So give me the 49ers.
Ooh.
I would say, Rodgers going home to Northern California in front of his friends and family, but I don't think he has any friends or family in California. So I think Niners take this one.
Eagles 1-1, Cowboys 1-1. Cowboys are giving up 4 points. I don't know. I like the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys should be able to beat the Eagles, even though the Eagles have been playing well. I don't know. I believe in the Cowboys for some reason.
Yeah, it's a weird statement to say, right? Believing in the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with you. As bad as it hurts, I think the Eagles, their downward spiral is going to start here soon, and it might even start this week against Dak and that offense.
Cowboys are home?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the NFC East is going to be a poop show again this year. But I almost see every team winning at home and losing on the road. So I'm going to take the Cowboys.
All right. So going off here, we come to the showdown between the Washington football team, 1-1, Buffalo, 1-1. These guys have met 14 times during the regular season. Once, we don't want to talk about that. Bills lead the series 9-5. They lost in the big game. Again, we don't want to talk about that. No Fitzmagic for this game. You got Heineke. Points scored per game. Bills are at 25.5, which is 12th in the league. Washington is 23, tied for 16th. Points allowed per game, Bills are allowing 11.5, which has them tied for second. Washington, which I was surprised, 24.5, which they're tied for 16th again. Sacks, Bills have 8th, which are tied for second. Washington has 6, tied for 5th. Third down percentage, Washington, 30.4%, dead last in the NFL. Bills are 48.46. Penalties, Bills are tied for 15th. Washington's tied for 25th. Average yards per game. I was surprised about this, dude, but they're really close. Bills are averaging 342.5, which is 21st. Washington's 333, which is 22nd. That's not what I was surprised about. This is what I was surprised about. Opponents' average yards per game. Bills are giving up 234, which has them at second. The surprise to me was Washington, 407.5, which has them at 25th. And Bills are in the defensive wise against the pass and the run. Bills are against the pass are second. Against the run, they're seventh. Surprisingly, again to me, Washington is 23rd against the pass and 24th against the run. I thought, Washington has that very good defense. I chose them, or I picked them to win the East over there. I was surprised with these numbers, Marty.
Yeah, I think, again, we've got to reiterate that the defense is still young and getting some time in there without playing a lot of preseason reps and snaps. They're still trying to get there. Linebackers are really, really struggling right now, and that's what's leading to this yards per game debacle.
Gotcha. I don't know if I should put this out, especially with my guest here, but usually I put out everything people comment. Marty, is this not me? This is Angel Rodriguez. Bam! Washington football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not me. It was Angel. Again, right. We always put everything out. But that's Angel. I thought, to me, like the Bills' offensive line struggled against Pittsburgh. If Washington could just run those front four and apply a lot of pressure on Josh Allen and their secondary could drop back and play a little softer, I think it's going to be a tougher game. We need Allen not to struggle, and we need to start with that run game because the ends are going to be flying in. They got to slow them down with the run game and maybe a screen or two to try to slow those D ends from getting to Allen. That would be my main thing against this team. I mean, you got McLaren. Trey White's going to be on McLaren. McLaren's a beast. You guys usually have a pretty good running game. So, the one thing the Bills against the Dolphins, there was a few big run plays they had, and there was a screen or two. So, if they watch that game, they might try to do a few of those things. But the Bills' defense was all over the place. I'm not sure how your offensive line is. I haven't really gotten to watch much. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to come down to both offensive lines. Whoever protects their quarterback the best. I think the Bills right now, they're giving 7.5 points. Mm-hmm. I think, me personally, I'm going to choose the Bills, but I don't know if they're going to cover 7.5. So,
yeah.
I would say Washington. I can pick the Bills to win, but I think Washington will. I think they'll cover. They'll be in that 7.5. I don't think the Bills are going to win by 7.5.
I think this is going to be a tighter game too, like you said. I think both of them have the same DNA. Both of those folks coming from Carolina, a lot of the same mentality there, the same way how they want to play. Yeah. Unfortunately, our defense so far this year hasn't played that smash mouth style like we finished up, but and I see it hard to start against Josh Allen this week. I think, like I said, it's going to be close, but Josh Allen's going to get the ball too many times and convert it too much towards the end, and they're going to get a win, by a touchdown.
What are you thinking, Bobby, with this matchup?
I'm thinking it's going to be a closer game than, like you said. I think Buffalo pulls it out because they're home, but I think it's going to be again, like you said, it's going to be a replication of Pittsburgh's D line against your O line. Now, whether they learned the past 2 weeks, we'll see. But I think that's what's going to end up being. I think it's going to be a battle of the lines with the Buffalo coming out on top. Now, Marty, what do you think of this quarterback sticking around for a while?
Yeah, Taylor Heineke. I
You think he has a chance?
I think he's definitely going to get a shot here. Fitzpatrick's going to be out for 8 weeks at least, and who knows if he even will get a chance to earn a spot back afterwards. Heineke is very mobile, and that was one thing throwing him in the last couple times he started you could see. But something that was positive against the New York Giants is that he stood in the pocket and threw the ball 38, 39 times and showed that side of him too. So if he can kind of get both of them to marry up and take the best of both worlds and how he can throw, but then how he can also move, I think he could be dangerous enough to get this team where they need to be by the end of the year. But I don't believe he's the long-term solution by any stretch or means because of his health issues and turnovers. He's liable for a bad pick here or there, and I think you'll probably see 1 or 2 this week.
I'm hoping you see 1 or 2.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I've seen enough of this guy to know that he's got that fire in him, and sometimes it's great and we love it, but then there's going to be other times where he's going to try to fit something in. And folks go back to the missed field goal last Thursday with the Giants, but 2 series before that, in their own red zone on their own side of the 20-yard line, he threw an interception that led to a field goal for the Giants to even take that lead. So it's a balancing act, and hopefully he can learn quick and on the fly in Bills Mafia.
It'll be loud. Real quick, I forgot to put this up. Bills injury report this week. Veteran rest. Did not practice for Cole Beasley. Did not practice for Mary Addison. Gabriel Davis, he's been, with an ankle injury for the last week. Tremaine heat illness. I didn't even know about that one. Again, I like how these veterans get a lot of rest lately. They just practice on Friday, walkthroughs, and then play the game. Micah Hyde, who had a great game. Dane Jackson, Star Latulier, a lot of guys on this list here. And again, veteran rest. Did not practice for Sanders. Levi Wallace, he was full on Wednesday, which was good, limited. There was rumors that they weren't sure how banged up he was after that game. Also, I forgot to play the little clip that I took from the Buffalo Bills from the win over Miami, being that you guys are 2 great fans.
Defense. Where's Tremaine? Offense, that's a hell of a job making adjustments coming out in the second half. Josh did a great job. Hey, that's the Bills I recognize, man. That's the Bills I recognize. That focus and that hunger, man, every week. Because we need it. We need to have that, right? You feel it. I felt it out there. I knew it in pregame, and I could feel you guys. That's what it's got to be every week, man. Humble and hungry.
Hey, still a lot of work that needs to be done, man. We got 15 left. We got a good opponent in Washington. Let's get in. 24-hour rule. Let's get over this one. Get on to the next one. Win on 3, 1, 2, 3. Win!
Again, that's from the Buffalo Bills site. That just reminded me. It's like, you felt it, I felt it. I don't remember if you remember that beeper commercial. When the girl went into the car, she farted, and there was somebody in the background. Oh, my God, smart beep or something like that. And then her boyfriend came in. It's like, oh, how you guys doing? You guys meet? You feel the love or something like that? Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm aging myself, Marty, just before your time. Beepers. You didn't know about no beepers.
No.
Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Marty, as always, thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on, even though you're wearing that hat.
Hey, Will, real quick, did our guy Steven Gonzalez get signed to the practice squad?
No, he didn't. So I don't know if anybody picked him up, but the Bills released him. I think it was
last cut.
I think it was before last cut.
Oh, was it?
I think it was the one before last cut. Yeah. So I should probably reach out to him and see if he'd still be willing to pop on, even though he got cut. But he was a nice guy over here from Union City, well, where I used to live over that area. But that was it. So
from the city to the hills, huh?
To the city, to the hills. Not the Beverly Hills either, but Country Hills. So, guys, as always, thanks for joining me. To all the Bills fans watching, thank you. Viva the Bills fans, thanks. All the peeps from Black Jet Network watching us, thank you. And until next week, go Buffalo. I'm sorry, Marty. Go Buffalo.
There you go.
Peace out.
Again,